Futures and forex trading contains substantial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please take a moment to review the full disclaimer. Hello traders, Kevin from chartspots.com. Today I will walk you through the process I do each evening after the market has closed. And more specifically, I do this for the Euro Stoxx 50, the DAX and the ES. So let's get started. The lines that I just selected is basically my indicator. The yellow line is the initial balance, which stops after 2 hours in this case, as I'm using the pre-market included in the initial balance for the European products like DAX and Euro Stoxx. The green line is tracking the high, the red the low, and we also have this orange line here, which is the open of the futures. So with that said, the primary lines I look at or change each day are these that I draw myself in Ninja. We have these dotted gray ones, these two. This is the high and low of yesterday. So by manually doing this, I could track this automatically, but I like to do it manually because now I am confronted with the fact that trade today was higher. So I immediately see that we have been time framing up today. The market was in balance, so with that we can adjust the high and the low of the day. So for tomorrow, as you can see here, I will use this more as a reference point, not necessarily to initiate trades from, although that may happen if there is a certain setup. But I typically use normal support and resistance levels, which I briefly removed from the chart for clarity. So it gives me a way to judge the context of the day that's developing by immediately having the high and the low of the prior day on my chart. Similarly, I keep the volume point of control with this dotted purple pinkish line. As you can, and what I note here is that today we have moved up only 2 points, so which also signifies again that the market was in balance compared to yesterday. Then another important measure is the settle. This one I track with this cyan dotted line. This is typically also a line that you see on every chart of normal charting packages or broker platforms. So it is possible to see reaction from it, as we saw here in the early morning. It was also the overnight low in this case. And when I see price turning around on that line, I keep that in mind, as it might be a sign of some weakness. It's typically shorter time frame traders which will initiate trades at that level. And additionally, so yesterday the settle was at 33.11, which was the IB low for today, and now updating the settle to the value today, and this makes it clear we're now up here. By the way, where I get the settle is simply from the Eurex website. You can look it up there. So two things I noticed, or I noticed in this case, we settled right up to the high of the day. That's one thing, and we settled higher than the POC, while in tick products like the Euro stocks or the ES, you typically see the settle quite close to the volume point of control. It's in effect also what the market makers try to achieve. They actually write it on their website as well. They try to strive for VWAP/VPOC type values for the settle. Obviously, that didn't work out today because there was some news here which caused a rally. That's also important information. If you close at the high or just below it, you expect to take out that level the day afterwards, the following session. Then the other important levels are the overnight high and low, which in my case are these two orange dotted lines. They are also reference points, and if you're in balance, you can see some reaction to it as well, as you see here. But that's more in thicker products. In the DAX, they're less significant in terms of support or resistance. At least that's what I find. So for this, this chart shows a complete session. So the pre-market, which runs till somewhere here, 9 o'clock, a bit sooner, and the market closes right here, and then you have the US session, during which the European futures are also still open, and then we close for the Asian session. So I have to look as from 1730 till the end, what is the high and the low in that time period. So in this case, the high, and I'm going to use this little tool just to make sure I get it right. So the high is the same as today's high, as it was right next to the close, and the low excuse me, for this overnight session is the POC. So with this setup done, this chart is ready for the next day. The other two lines that are still on here, which I didn't discuss yet, are these dashed light blue ones, and that's basically the opening swing that I record in the morning when the regular trading hours start. So in case of the DAX and the Euro stocks, around 9 o'clock. And so with that, the chart is ready. What I also tend to do is check my support and resistance levels, the intraday ones, whether I should update them, but that's for another video. So having these on your chart immediately gives you important reference points for the day before, which can help you continually update your bias throughout the day, what you expect is happening, what you see, and what you expect based on what you have seen. So have a look at it, try it out, let me know what you think, and good luck trading.